Hi. The holidays are always a special time of year. A time to get together with loved ones and family. And one of the most special moments of the holiday season is going out to harvest your very own family Christmas tree. This year, for the safety of others, please consider not straying too far in an effort to acquire that special traditional tree around which you gather and celebrate wonderful family moments, exchange gifts, drink hot apple cider with butter and cinnamon in it for some reason. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and here's to a better 2021 for us all.
What are you doing? That's our tree. This guy, he's like cutting the tree down.
No, thank you. No, please go away. That's our tree.
Who do you think you are? Why don't you just go out in the woods if you're gonna get a tree?
I'm gonna call the cops, I think.
Yeah, do.
Like, I'd like you to leave now, please.
I know, I gotta get a picture of this guy.
911. There's someone in our yard trying to cut down our tree.
I'm getting it all.
Okay, you'll be here? Yeah, this guy's weird. A little bit weird. Can you please go, sir? Thank you.
Get out of here.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
I sat down at the counter with the menu in my hand. When I saw what was behind it, I hit a grand slam. I saw my milkshake and mama. I saw my soda jerky baby. I saw the girl that keeps the ice cream for her. And she said, now may I help you? What flavor would you like? Just the way she said it got me higher than a kite. I saw my milkshake and mama. Oh, that soda jerky baby. Oh, the girl that keeps the ice cream for her. Oh, strawberry, raspberry, chocolate, and fudge. Bananas, and some whipped cream and make me buzz. The maraschino cherries sitting on the top. Not even some spumoni could get me from that shop. But then I had a root beer. And as I paid my check, I wondered heck would she ever call me dear. She's the girl that keeps the ice cream for her. And when she brought my sundae, I could not eat a bite. I let it drip all over as I stared with all my might. And my milkshake and mama. Oh, that soda jerky baby. Oh, the girl that keeps the ice cream for her. And luckily, I hung around until she got off work. Later we got married, had a bunch of little jerks. She's my soda jerky baby. Oh, milkshake and mama. Oh, the girl that keeps the ice cream for her. Oh, strawberry, raspberry, chocolate, and fudge. Bananas and some whipped cream could make me buzz. Maraschino cherry sitting on the top. Not even some spumoni could get me from that shop. Then I had a root beer. And as I paid my check, I wondered heck would she ever call me dear. She's a girl that keeps the ice cream for her. Oh, next time you're hungry, take my advice. Try the soda fountain. It could be just as nice. It could be just as nice. It could be just as nice.
Hi, my name's John, and I'm going to do a couple songs. The first one's a song by Leonard Cohen. and the second's the solstice song that I wrote a number of years ago. So here we go. Suzanne takes you down to a place near the river. You can hear the boats go by. You can spend the night beside her, and you know that she's half crazy. That's why you'll be there, and she feeds you tea and oranges that come all the way from China. And when you mean to tell her that you have no love to give her, then she kisses you on her wavelength and lets the river answer that you've always been her lover. And you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know that she can trust you, for she's touched your perfect body with your mind. And Jesus was a sailor when he walked upon the water, and he spent a long time watching from his lonely wooden tower. And when he knew for certain only drowning men could see him, he said all men will be sailors there until the sea shall free them. But he himself was broken long before the sky would open. Forsaken, almost human, he sank beneath your wisdom like a stone. And you want to travel with him, and you want to travel blind, and you know that you can trust him, for he's touched your perfect body with his mind. Oh, it's a sign in the coming of time, the star that we seek in the heaven. Beckon to come from the all to the one, the light we perceived as presence. Drawn are we to that which was fortune, a glimpse at a trace now shrouded. What can we bring of our gifts? Shall we sing to make glad on such an occasion? For nights become day, and the light shall outsway, for at least as long as it's granted between the sky and ground we're planted. To live, yeah, we must unto our and entrust our eyes to be made to see newly. Of all that is will be made truly. Thanks.
Life's a losing game when you don't play. close is what they say. And love is just another leap of faith, but I jumped right in. I took the train, I took the car, I didn't know just where I'd fall or where it'd take me. Another step, I'll never know if I'll get there, but just maybe. I want something more than restless mornings, getting by so boring. Take another look before it goes. Days are only footprints in the snow. How far away can I walk till I'm way too far from home? I wish I knew, I wish I knew. I want something more than restless mornings, getting by so boring. Take your time, enjoy it. Every fleeting moment, getting by so boring.
Hello, my name is Vern, and really excited about being here tonight. Gonna play a song for you guys, and I will say I do miss the shiny faces out there, and but there is a kind of a cool thing about this setup is that I got this delete button right here, and actually, you know, it's probably a good thing because it allows me to get a little more experimental and not have to worry about mistakes in front of an audience. So this song is one I've been working on for a while. It's called Where Have We Gone? Once there was a little boy who called out my name. We were up and down and all around, playing magical games. Oh, I miss that little boy. Where has he gone? Where is that little boy shooting rockets through the clouds? He grew up in the city, a dangerous land, and the wounds of a little boy aching a growing man. Oh, I miss you. Where have we gone? Where is that little boy shooting rockets through the clouds? Now the world that we live in, truth is hard to find, and our hearts try to seek the true light. Our minds are dark as night. Oh, I miss you. What have we done? Where is that little boy shooting rockets through the clouds? Where is that little boy shooting rockets through the clouds? Thank you very much. And, well, I hope you're having a good evening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. I thank you very much. Bye now.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss, performed by
The Poetry Brats.
every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood on Christmas Eve hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown at the lighted windows below their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings.
He said with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise, oh, the noise, 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 noise. The one thing he hated, the noise, 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 noise. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, feast, feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who's roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together. With Christmas bells ringing, they'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of the Who's Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought.
I must stop this whole thing. For 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this from coming. But how?
And then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do.
The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat. And he chuckled and clucked.
What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. But that didn't stop the old Grinch. No, the Grinch simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make a reindeer.
So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and then he hitched up old Max. And the Grinch said,
Giddy up!
and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were dreaming sweet dreams without care when he came to the first little house on the square.
This is stop number 1.
The old Grinchy claws hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little blue stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings
He grinned.
are the first thing to go.
Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's Feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, the Grinch took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now
Grinned the Grinch.
I will stuff up the tree.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said,
Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet tot,
The fake Santa lied.
there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and then I'll bring it back here.
And this fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink and sent her back to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went up the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log from their flue. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On the walls he laid nothing but books and some wire, and one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for all the other Who's mouses. It was 1:15 on, and all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled. Pack it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Cruppet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it.
Pooh-pooh to the Who's.
He was graciously humming.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo, that's a noise, oh, that I must hear.
So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it began to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, and bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Maybe the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas,
He thought.
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 times that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Thank you.
Thank you.